Good evening, friends. I welcome you all to this 11th episode of Wild Wild Slide series, Lounge Section. When I started this lounge section, I didn't know this will go this far, but somehow I was really fortunate to keep getting guests week after week, and I'm really grateful to everyone who has come as a guest here and contributed so much, shared so much of their life, their life's work, and insights, experiences, their opinions, and how they see life, not only their past, their work, their present, and the future they project or they aspire to. I'm really grateful to all who have joined me here, and I'm especially grateful to my guest tonight, who is none other than Swami Chaitanya Keerti from Chandigarh. He had been a very important key figure in Osho's work since probably it all seriously started, and his job, as we now know, was at that time mainly to handle the media of Osho's work and edit Osho magazines, and also so many other things. And he was really a key figure in that sense, because to handle media, which was always after a controversial master like Osho, and who was always looking for bites, and so to handle media in those Osho times was really, I would say, not child's play, and he did an awesome job out of it. He was responsible to so many of beautiful events that were curated in Osho Ashram in Pune in those times, and now that he is doing his own work, spreading his own uh, in his own way Osho's message, taking Osho meditation camps, and also handling still the media um, for whatever is happening right now in Osho's work world, and the way the message is being carried out. So he's still a key figure, and will probably be like this, I'm sure, all his life, because his contribution, if one documents, is immense. He had not only been out in front of media, but he had worked a lot behind the curtains, let's say. So he was a key figure in every sense of the word. So it's best time to now invite him and ask what exactly was to him as a person to be in such a key position and to execute Osho's vision continuously till this day. He's endlessly, tirelessly doing his things. I hope he accepts my request and joins soon. Yes, Swamiji.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited and honored and so much full of gratitude that you have come to my screen, let's say, because this is not my house, but we are in online world now. So you have come to my screen. So I really thank you. And I had been
I'm
thinking
grateful.
about you. Thank you, Swamiji. I've been thinking about you lots. I mean, since it all started, my Wild Wild Slide series, because Wild Wild Slide is inspired from that famous documentary of Netflix, Wild Wild Country. And I felt this is an apt title because we also play a rebellious music in our own way as a musician, like. And slide is a kind of a cowboy thing, let's say, in musical world, because We the normal way to play guitar is like upright position, and then you play chords and all that. But we put it flat in our laps, and then we do sliding, and this is wild so much in terms of music. And I felt, wow, this is an amazing title it could be. And so, coming to you, Swamiji, please, I want to hear your story. Story means your journey from a town so many decades ago, let's say, when you were in your hometown in Haryana, I think, and from there, how you came across Osho's words, and what led you finally to Osho in your own way, Swamiji, all yours.
First, I would like to say when you start playing your slide guitar, I was sliding into silence. And I felt I should continue sliding more and more into silence. It was a gentle slide, not wild slide. And I felt, okay, let him play, and I would sit here with closed eyes and be in silence. But I'm equally happy that I have an opportunity to share something which is which the stirrings in my heart I have always felt.
Yes, most welcome, sir.
I was, yeah, as you said, Haryana, I was living in Panipat those days. And Osho, I don't think he would have ever come to Panipat. He was going either to Delhi or Ludhiana, Amritsar, big cities, or Bombay, Madras, Calcutta, these cities, wherever he got invitation, Ahmedabad. So, but I was also not searching, I don't know, that time. What I was searching, there's something that can quench the thirst of my heart. And I found that way. I used to buy a popular weekly magazine called Dharm Yug, published by Times of India. That time it was the most popular magazine.
Yeah, I was also one of its avid readers at that time.
Yes, yes. And edited by Dharamveer Bharti.
Yes,
so it was, so this was very beautiful, holistic magazine, not just politics. As these days, every magazine is full of politics.
Yeah.
But that time it was pure literature,
true,
fiction, articles, and because of the name Dharm Yug, it had one column called Dharm Charcha in it. Dharm Charcha means talk of the religion. So there, every now and then I would look, but I was not so happy because it was all traditional religious articles coming. Then I decided, okay, I won't read this column, read other things, because they are all talking old stuff. And suddenly one day I felt, am I creating kind of prejudice against all these things by not reading this? So next issue, whatever comes in this issue, I would be reading the whole thing. Whether it's bullshit or whether it's good stuff, I would not judge. I would just read it. And in that very issue was Osho's article, Is Man a Machine? क्या मनुष्य एक यंत्र है? And this article got me. I fell in love with this half-page article in Dharm Yug. And Osho was saying that we are not master of ourselves. Somebody praises us and we react unconsciously, automatically. एक यंत्र की तरह व्यवहार करते हैं और कोई भी हमारी प्रशंसा स्तुति करता है तो हम खुश हो जाते हैं. We feel happy if somebody praises us, and we feel disgusted or really hurt when somebody. So is insulting us. So the remote control remains in the hands of others in society. As nobody is individual, and an individual would be responding with intelligence, with awareness, and it will take its own time. So he clearly gave the distinction between reaction and response. He said reaction is automatic, response is with awareness. So this I really was touched my heart. And now I decided that I would go back into all the previous issues. There may have been some articles from this person. So I went to libraries, looked into the old issues, brought the cuttings, because librarians used to be my friends also, because I'm a good reader, visitor all the time. Now, having these articles once in a while, 3 months, 2 months gap, I was feeling more and more thirsty. Now I wanted books, if there are any books of this person. And suddenly, Indira Gandhi around that time had announced midterm elections, polls.
When was it, Swamiji? Which?
Maybe 1970.
Okay.
Year was 70. And she gave this concept of socialism for the country. And Osho came out with the discourses of beware of socialism. Samajvad se savdhan. Making the country alert that Samajvad has no future for this country. You need to invite all the wealth from all over the world, open up your economy and make this country richer. In Samajvad, in socialism, you will only distribute poverty, nothing else. You would make everybody equally poor. Yeah. If 2-3 rich people, if you take away money from all these few rich people, what people will get? Few rupees. And they will also become poorer. So that's not the way. So this kind of discourses, I ordered that book immediately and it came and I read. But this book had one thing more deeper, which was undercurrent of these 5 discourses, was that revolutions outside world, outside human beings don't work. The revolution has to work, has to be the transformation of the individual. Only then the society is changed. You cannot directly change society. You have to work on individuals, and for that you need to meditate. So he was in between giving these lines in these discourses, which also I got, okay, so that's the thing. So next book I ordered was From Sex to Superconsciousness. These 2 books were creating waves in the country around that time. I couldn't feel that so much because I was in small city, Panipat. But later I could feel that these are the 2 most controversial and important books. Sambhog se Samadhi ki aur Samajvad se Savdhan, Hindi titles. That was not English that time. So I ordered that book, and immediately when I got this book, I read the whole book in the night, and while sleeping, after reading this book, I had an out-of-body experience, like he was talking about super consciousness, from sex to super consciousness. But it relaxed me so much deeply that it felt that I have gone out of the body without even seeing him. So that was the first glimpse of some kind of, you can say, deep meditation or samadhi before even seeing him. And the words in these books were just like he's talking to you. You're not reading a dry book. He's communicating with you. So that's what, then I was really sold out to him. from that day. So then
What
after
was
these
your
two
age?
books,
What was your age at that
that
time?
time I was 20,
Oh, so
20
early.
year old.
Very
So
impressionable age, yes.
yes. And sannyas happened when I was 21. So, so then I ordered one more book which was called Jin Khoja Tin Paiya, the Nargol Meditation Camp Discourses. And later on, this book came In Search of the Miraculous, the translation came.
Yes.
But I read the original Hindi. And reading the discourses that he gave in this camp, the last discourse in the camp was, I'm searching for people who can join me, and I would look into the eyes of those people who can really go deep into meditation. And I will not wait for them. I would go to them and bring them to me and work on them and create a big revolution. Because on one side is the corrupt politicians, power-hungry politicians, creating so much nonsense in the country, in the world, polluting the atmosphere. Unless we have so many meditators to balance them, humanity has no future. So I feel responsible, and those who feel the same responsibility, I call them to join me. Reading this, I did not complete the book. I just, next day I decided that I go to him. And that was my third year of the graduation, BA third year. The last year of the graduation, I left it in between. I don't need to complete. Without completing the third year, I decided that I go to him now. What would I do with such degrees and all that? I should go to him because he's talking the realm that I have never. He was talking in this book 7 chakras, 7 bodies, 7 colors, and all the mystical things. That's why the name was given In Search of the Miraculous later on when it was translated. So, in a day or two after reading this book, I managed the things for travels and just left for Bombay. That time there was no Pune ashram. It was 71, September 4, I reached Bombay. So this September 4, it would be 50 years.
Wow, amazing. Great.
So I arrived in Bombay and found out where he's living, reached him, and there I went to Woodlands Apartments, A1 apartment, and there he was. And I asked Ma Yoga Lakshmi to give me an appointment to see him. She says, how can I give you an appointment? You first come to discourses, listen to him. I said, I have come from so far away and I have read everything that has been published. So I don't need to read or listen to him more. I just want to see him. But she did not believe, or she kept me waiting a few minutes. Then I suddenly see that on the board it is written the meeting time is 2:30 to 4, and soon it would be 4 o'clock. And then she would tell me to go because time is over. So I asked her to give me a piece of paper and I write a message for him, and you take it to him, whatever he says, then I would. So I insisted that, and I wrote few lines in Hindi, and without reading, simply she took the paper and went in to Osho, few yards away in his room. And instantly she comes because Osho won't take so much time to read 4 lines. Send him in. So he said, send him in. So she says, okay, there is the room, you go and meet him. It's like she's not even taking me there to introduce me or who has come or whatever. Like later on when sannyas happened, everything happened, was systematic. But there she says, that's the room. You open the door and you would see him. You go there. So I went gently. I opened the door because now suddenly the heart is beating very fast. Before that, I was struggling whether I would be accepted, not accepted. I have come all the way from Panipat to Mumbai, and so I opened the door, and there I see him sitting in his grandeur, his majesty, revolving chair, some books by his side, and standing at that doorstep, I felt something from within me already went there and surrendered. I just have to move few steps to reach to him. He says, Chale aao, chale aao. Come on in. And then I go and touch his feet and sit in front of him. And then I could not see into his eyes because so much illumination, the whole being so transparent.
Wow.
आंखें चुंधिया रही थी उनको देखने में. So he said, कैसे आना हुआ? What brought you here? I said, then words were not coming. And 2-3 times he repeated, कैसे आना हुआ? Then I said, आपके पास रहने आया हूँ. यहाँ मेरे पास. And then he had a great laugh and he said, oh, so you want to take sannyas? And before that, I had not heard of sannyas. He had started sannyas in Manali a year before. So just 1 year before exactly. So he said, so you want to take sannyas? I said, whatever the condition to be around you, I will accept. I don't know what sannyas is, but if that is the case, I will do it. He says, then he presses the intercom and says, Madhu Mala Lao. Ma Anand Madhu was there. At that time, she was kind of in charge of new sannyasins who were taking sannyas. And so he didn't call Lakshmi to bring mala. He called her number, pressed the intercom, Madhu Mala Lao. Madhu bring mala. And in between, before she comes, he's asking me about education, about my family life, etc. Few sentences. I said, there's no need to go into that. I have just come to you. And he says, yes, I was waiting for you. So he says, okay, then Madhu brings mala and I give you name Swami Chaitanya Keerti. And then he looks the other side to write the name for me on that letterhead. Then I look up to see him again because otherwise I was sitting fully with my head down. And as soon as he looked back, then I become bow down again. So he says, and after giving me name, he says, this is Ma Anand Madhu. And tomorrow, her Kirtan group, she's coordinating the Kirtan group, would be traveling to Gujarat, and you join this group and tell people about me. After a few weeks, there would be a camp in Mount Abu. You come with the group. So this group is Kirtan Mandali. So join the Kirtan Mandali. And I had not come prepared with clothes, maroon or orange that time. So when I come out, the clothes were arranged and Lakshmi was giving me a cup of chai. So suddenly I was in the family now, sannyas family.
Yes.
1 hour before it was strange thing. She was questioning me why you want to see him, all that. And within an hour, I am sannyasin. So chai is there and laughter is there and new name. And tomorrow morning, 4 o'clock, you would be traveling to Gujarat, Navsari, Valsad, all these stations. And somewhere in a guest house, Kirtan Mandali, other members were there. And one Swami Krishna Vedant, he never wanted to go in the Kirtan group. So he was also there. So his clothes were given to me. So the clothes also that way I got to wear orange clothes. And next morning, early morning, in between, when I come out after taking sannyas, the whole Bombay was dancing. It was a Ganesh festival, like Ganapati Bappa Moria. So the streets were all music, so this and that. So I danced with them because my joy was meeting the master.
Yes.
Yeah, so their reason is different. My reason, just the music just got me. And next morning we are doing Kirtan anyway, every city. So I joined, and Chaitanya Bharati was the leader of that Mandali, and Ma Anand Madhu was the coordinator. So there are two people, and another 10, 15 more people to travel together. And then we come to Gujarat, and that's how sharing began with people straight after sannyas. And sannyas happened too quickly. I had read few books, so I was full of enthusiasm anyway. And now the master has given energy, blessings, everything. So we were really confident that we can share his message right away without any preparation. Later on, when we used to come back, and he says that we meet very intelligent, educated people, and they have very profound questions and all that, and how to deal with those people. Osho says, you just say anything in response, and if they come to check with me, I would say, yes, I have said this. So you go with my blessings and do it. So this is how the first meeting happened.
Beautiful.
And then,
but Swamiji, you didn't tell what did you exactly write in those lines.
yes, I know this question, because in the flow I sometimes forget that, because he just says Bhagwan. That time we used to call him Bhagwan Shri. I have come from that far, and I was thinking that there would be a problem or something. It was not a difficult thing to come here. But now I'm sitting here and you are just a few yards away from me. I don't know what kinds of walls are there between us. And what I want to say, I cannot say. I can only say that I have come.
Please say it in Hindi, Swamiji.
हाँ, मैं क्या कहना चाहता हूँ मैं कह भी नहीं पाऊंगा, लेकिन मेरी यही अभिव्यक्ति है कि मैं आपके पास आ गया हूँ.
Beautiful.
So इस तरह की 4 सेंटेंस लिखे थे मैंने, तो उन्होंने पढ़ते ही बुला लिया.
Wow.
So, instant.
Beautiful. This is how, like, master takes right into his lap the very ready persons, come right into his lap, and then ready to work right away. I mean, it's no time wasted, nothing, bang on, and you are just doing exactly what you had.
Yes, I can say right after sannyas initiation, that time there were no photographers, or only Yoga Chinmaya comes and asks me my address, where I come from, later on when I come out. And he writes in his notebook, diary, somewhere who is taking sannyas. And I could say that by that time, 490 or 95, these many people had taken sannyas. Some were sadhus, some were swamis. Sadhus are those who don't take full jump. and they wear white first, and then they were told to wear, when they are ready, they can wear orange. So, but I want to say that right after sannyas, the work meditation right away began. It was our meditation also to the way we are sharing and learning at the same time.
Yes, definitely.
You would fumble, you would make mistakes, you would be provoked because people will throw things at you, or they would even touch your feet also. Both things were happening in Kirtan Group. It was sometimes insult, like they would say, girls and boys in Kirtan Group, people would start teasing us Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, and all those from Dham Maru Dham. So that kind of stuff also would come. But to remain composed, to remain centered, and like you are saying that you said about me key person. I said I got the master key.
Yes,
definitely. How to deal.
Yes.
Though that very first day the master key was
given to you.
Given. Yeah, and then how because otherwise I would say I have not done any meditation. I have not attended any meditation camp around him, and he's giving me the job to, and the job also added that when we leave every city, like suppose we have been 3 days in Jaipur or 3 days in Udaipur or somewhere, and before we go to next city, I have to write a letter to him. How was the response in this city? So about every city there was like I'm writing a diary and sending to him, so he could read
what happened there,
how people, how the work was going on. So like after Indore, I go to Bhopal. We go to Bhopal as a group, and then after Bhopal, we have to come to Mount Abu. So about Bhopal, I'm not sending any report because soon I would be seeing him and we can personally tell him. So as soon as we arrive in Mount Abu after Bhopal, he says, what happened in Bhopal? He inquired right away. He did not forget that. So I said, because right after Bhopal, we were coming to you, so we are faster than the chitti, than the letter that I should send you. So that way it was this job also in the Kirtan Group.
And you were singing Kirtans, or what was happening in Kirtan Group exactly?
What was happening that Chaitanya Bharati would start with Dhapali.
Okay.
And Govinda Bolo, Gopal Bolo, and the whole group will sing. And somebody also be supportive, like there was Nirmal Bharti who was singer. Vairagya Amrit was also with the Dhapali.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they would two Dhapalis together. And I had this, what you call, Jhanjar, something like that, round thing. Sound making, this, not Dhapali, but as you can say, something else. Yes, that kind. And when the Kirtan has come to climax and we are standing few minutes on the Chauraha, on square somewhere, then I would make an announcement where we are giving discourse in the evening, 7 o'clock, or where dynamic meditation will be happening. So public has gathered around us, like majma lag gaya hai, तो अब उनको कुछ बताना तो पड़ेगा कि भाई हाँ कहाँ आए वो हमारे पास 3 दिन हम यहाँ रुके हुए हैं. And in between, we would also go to shop to sell Osho's books in main markets, doctors, whichever shop where we found that people may be interested to buy the book. So every shop would go and sell Osho's books. So also inform what we are doing in the evening or in the morning. And that time we used to also do divine healing, mass healing. So I would announce that also, that after dynamic meditation or this, there would be a mass healing, divine healing. So people would come and they would buy books. And the books that we were selling was the whole support that we had. Like if we buy books, that we get 40% discount. From discount, we make our trip journey further to next cities. So we were kind of feeling sometimes insecure, sometimes where we would stay, all these hurdles. We don't know how the next city would receive us. We have just come. So we would go. It was a journey into unknown that way. We were all new and young. And the Western and Eastern together.
अच्छा उसमें भी वेस्टर्न भी थे कीर्तन मंडली में
4 or 5 Western. There was this one Haridas, German Haridas, and some Danish Ma Aradhana or some one Astha who later worked in the kitchen, Osho's Laosu kitchen, Ma Astha. I have written about her today on my Facebook.
I read it.
Where is Astha
Yes.
now? So
yes.
some of even Anandadas that who was with Vatayana.
Okay.
So these people were also there, but they would stay 3 months and some other person would come
replace them
because depending on their visa.
Yes.
Mandali was going on for a few years.
Until
75, but I did not continue until 75 because before that I started publishing Osho's Hindi monthly magazine from Punjab.
Okay.
It was called, Osho gave me 5 names to choose from, and I chose Anand. Like Anand, Sadhana, Bhavana, Chetna, 5 names he had given to choose from. But I decided Anand, and Anand suddenly when I go for registration, Anand was already registered. So I could not do with Anand. So I coined a new word, Anandini. Like this Patrika will give you Anand. Carrier of bliss. Anandini.
Yes.
So I brought out that magazine for almost a year or two until 74. And then I got invitation from Osho to come and edit Rajneesh Foundation newsletter from his birthday onward. 74. This is now, so you stop magazines there. I did it in Punjab and Patna both. And he says, now we need you here. And in Darshan he says, just wind up the whole thing in Patna. And I went to Patna because Punjab did not have too many Hindi readers. So I chose later on Patna because there you have more beautiful space. People do read, whether they are very poor, they still are into reading. You sit in a rickshaw and you would get Brahm Gyan from the rickshaw driver also. Everybody's reading.
Yes, true. Yes, true.
So I said, this is the place to come. So then Osho says, okay, leave Patna also, now come to Pune and start this magazine, Rajneesh Foundation newsletter. So I became the founding editor of that Rajneesh Foundation newsletter, because earlier it used to be all Jivan Jagrati Kendra, this and that. But Shri Rajneesh Ashram, when we come to on 21st of March, 74, this ashram started. 21st of March, Osho's Enlightenment Day, 21st of March. First they celebrated in Bombay when he was leaving from Bombay. When he arrives in Pune, there was a celebration. So after a few months, this magazine came into existence, Rajneesh Foundation newsletter. Rajneesh Foundation was established, so which would publish books. And then Osho tells me, he gave me guidance saying how to publish, what to do in this newsletter. He just told me that on the front page, keep full page photo, my photo. So we had Osho's photo full page in the tabloid size. And Inside there would be full discourse, uncut discourse,
Mm-hmm.
not pieces, but full discourse.
Mm-hmm.
And activities of the ashram
Mm-hmm.
and the centers around the country.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be every issue, every 15 days, twice a month,
Okay.
fortnightly.
Mm-hmm.
And just 1 rupee was the 24 rupees for the whole year. So 24 rupees. That's how it started. And whenever you would ask him, shall we increase the prices? He said, no, because this way everybody can read and everybody can come.
These
So
are
it should not be
such
so costly.
these are such heartwarming stories. Whenever I listen to senior sannyasins or who were around Osho when he was in body at that time, it's such an heartwarming stories. It always melts hearts and bring tears of, it wets the eye, and the connection we all feel, because we have all felt that connection with master in our own way. Still, I mean, people who came later also felt, and people who were at that time also felt, and same energy, same hope. When I came to first to Osho commune at that time, it was late I think 98 or something, 97, 98. I came also with the same feeling, like, my God, will I be accepted? Will I be taken in? Because you come with this kind of thing. Wow, what will happen? because because you are for that place. You will be merged there. Intuitively, but how will it happen? Whether there will be, what will happen? We don't know anybody. We don't know who is going to what, and everything in the end is taken care of so beautifully. One is always like find his way in and doing the thing whatever is best for him or her, or and at the same time he or she is beautifully doing his meditations. Transformations also takes place side by side with the celebrations. Every moment, every evening is some kind of celebration, and every evening and every day is some kind of transformation also. So it's all happening simultaneously. The experience, the sharing, the experience, the sharing, the creativity, the work, the everything you do is like a prasad in a temple, where you like devote your work as a offering, and that offering is in itself transformatory, and then so it's continuous, simultaneously happening. You inputs and outputs, like in and out, it's flowing, and everybody at that time, I remember, was like a flow of energy. You go
Yes.
7 steps and you get 2 hugs, and then you go there and then you get 2 hugs, and then some smiles there, and somebody already knows you, and somebody is, I mean, you are just in a situation where love is not flowing but flooding. So the heart centers are open for every other people, like never before one would see in a society. And this
Yeah.
place was like a magical place, full of evidences. Each person was like a proof of what was happening, because everybody was radiating, heart open, mind silent, and they were just like moving around like a zombies, spiritual zombies, and sharing things, whether they wanted it or not, or whether they knew how to share. It was
I have
just
I have a Hindi word for it, khumari. एक तरह से
Kumari.
खुमारी.
Exactly,
Yes.
Swami. It's a divine drunk, like you are drunk with divine, like, तो वो जो खुमारी आ जाती है, और वो उस
Yes.
खुमारी में आप बस हो रहे हो, चल रहे हो, बहुत कुछ हो रहा है, मगर आपको भी नहीं पता क्या हो रहा है, मगर फिर भी पता है हो रहा है, और आप उसमें सब कुछ हो रहा है. I mean, that was a magical experiment that happened on this planet Earth after maybe thousand, hundreds of, I don't know how many years. That exactly, I mean, of this level, of this magnitude, not only outside, inside, both. I mean, only Osho could pull it off. No master could have even
Yes, yes.
even done a bit of it. And so yeah, I totally agree and totally relate to what was happening at that time. And as a musician, Swamiji, I would like to know what was Osho's guidelines about music. And because I create music for meditation myself, and I also like do so many projects I play. I mean, when I came to Osho ashram at that time, commune, I'm just sharing a little bit of my story here, that I had stopped playing music maybe 2 years or some time before coming to Pune, because I thought I need to first work on myself. I need to do dynamic and all these things and read as many books as possible and need to work on myself. And this music is what is not my thing anymore. I put my guitar locked up and throw. I will never play this instrument ever in my life. Finished. Ho gaya sab kuch. So I just all the time into this reading or show and doing dynamics and other meditation, whatever I could lay hands on or understand from this darshan diaries or whatever came to me, like Osho Times or whatever. So one of my friend who was coming to me with me to from Jodhpur to Pune, he said, "No, I will bring your guitar. You don't worry about it. I will carry
Yeah.
it, but you have to. You just go as you want to go. I will carry your guitar. Don't worry." And it was a heavy case, and I said, "No, I don't want it," and all that. So and I told him very categorically, do not tell anybody that I play music of any sorts. I'm not here for all this crap. I'm just here to meditate and to like see what is in for me first. This is all can happen. This is for me entertainment. I don't want all this crap right now. So, but he said no. He put my guitar in music room without telling me. And then somebody asked me, who's this instrument? And I said, oh, sorry, it's mine. I will take away, don't worry. I was even willing to throw it away, Swamiji. So, but then I met Anadi and these people, and then at that time, Thursday was having Indian night, white robe. And remember, you at that time, Thursday, Anadi would sing Kirtans and all.
Yes, yes.
So Anadi said, okay, you play with us. And I said, oh, wow, how to play? I mean, what? I haven't touched my guitar for 2 years and suddenly I have to play. So, but then no, it's okay, you will manage. Everybody in ashram used to say, don't worry, you will manage.
Yes,
Somebody doesn't know anything and then said, no, don't worry, you will be totally fine. It will be all taken care. You will manage. So I said, okay. And I was so nervous to play my first white room. And at that time, 6:30 music would start. Like there was 15 minutes of meditative music or Indian music, and after that, something will a dancing part will start. So I just played. I don't know whatever I played, and then I got so much hugs and love from so many musicians, all normal people who heard that music. I said, "Wow, did I do okay?" I mean, but again, this thing.
yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
the joy was not what I did. The joy was I am accepted. You know,
Yeah,
I'm accepted in the Buddha field. I can be there for. I mean, I can do whatever is needed, like you said to Osho. If sannyas is needed or whatever is needed, I will do. Same situation for me. I would do anything to be in this place because this
yes.
is a miracle happening, and I don't want to miss this lifetime. I do. I did come a bit late, but I don't want to miss any more here. So, so that was my. Uh,
Yeah, now I would also talk about this dimension of music
yeah.
because we all came to him amateurs. We were not, like when we were in our 20-year-old or 21-year-old when I took sannyas. I mean, I had no knowledge of doing things of publication and this and that, but there was enthusiasm that this message must reach. And the very first day encounter, like you start dancing and you see music happening, uh, Ganapati Bappa Moria, etc., and you are really stirred and you move with that. In Kirtan Group also, like we were all very new people, not professionals, nothing professional, but we we were creating kind of like we would sing songs of Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Satnam, Satnam, Allah, uh, Govind Bolo, Gopal Bolo, Rajnish Bolo, Bhagwan Bolo, all this gradually improving. But when there was no other way to spread his message, music played the key role, important role. There is no news channels, TV channels available to you, and some papers don't know you, so they would not publish anything. But when you go in the city and do kirtan in the main streets, and seeing Indian and Western people together, men and women together, young, all dancing, you bring a new breeze to the town. They get swept away, whether we are perfect or not, but we did that. There was joy oozing out. So it really became important from the very first day. And when Osho conducted camps himself, there was no music for dynamic. There was no music for Kundalini around that time. So some people would be invited and Osho would be guiding them, play this way and that way, and there would be live music for dynamic also. Just doing anything. There was no system that time. Later on, after 74, when these great musicians came, Deuter and other people, then the system came. But before that, it was all like, okay, you can play Shehnai in Kundalini meditation, Bismillah Khan Shehnai or something. Or, have we had that kind of music also? Yeah. Because we had to do Kundalini meditation, something had to be there.
Yeah.
So this way, but Osho used the meditation music only for meditation. Without music support, meditation would not go deep in it. He knew that.
Definitely.
Whether you do jump up and down with hoo-hoo, and whether you be in silence after that, and soft sitar music. I remember in Mount Abu camps, before Osho begins his discourse, some Sardarji would sing one Shabad. I know his name was Prem Singh or from Amritsar. He would say, and it would like, their people would get settled before Master comes. Or Taru would sing something to make, or some sutras. So he would create atmosphere with the music. And later on, it really became kind of very, from all over the world, his disciples who knew something of the music, they got involved in that to bring out the music. And it was a regular thing, live music, Sufi dance in Buddha Hall, Anubhava and Anita doing, or some Ramananda doing. There were so many people, but he did use. And I remember when me and Chaitanya Bharati came to Osho, we had left the Kirtan Group, and then Osho says, now you two together can go to different cities, because when you are 15 people, you cannot stay more than 3 days in every city, because you become a burden if you stay longer for the host. But when you are only two people are not much burden. So you can stay 15 days or 3 weeks in every city, and Chaitanya Bharati will give discourse on the stage, and you sit next to him. And he asked me, do you play anything? I said, I do play Khanjari. I remember now playing Khanjari.
Yes.
So he said, oh, you play Khanjari? I said, yes. So to just in rhythm with the whole thing. So he says, he was humorously saying something that when Chaitanya Bharati he told me, when Chaitanya Bharati, he's sitting there, I'm sitting there, together we are sitting there. He says, when Swamiji has given discourse for half an hour, then थोड़ी चोटी काटना उनको पिंच
Okay.
और कहना अब ये प्रवचन बंद करो अब हम कीर्तन करते हैं.
Okay.
And he says, Sant Tukaram also used to do that way. He told me, Sant Tukaram would use the same way also. Okay, enough of, and then I could see in Bombay, he was giving discourses on Mahavir Vani. Mahavir is a dry subject. Lao Tse is a dry subject. He was giving Tao Upanishad. And then in the end, he would say, 5 मिनट रुकें, कीर्तन में शामिल हों और फिर जाएं. सन्यासी कीर्तन करेंगे. And then there were questions asked. He has given such a profound discourse on Tao, and now this irrational thing, Kirtan. What's the purpose of Kirtan? And he would say that I don't want you to go out of the hall with the heavy head of just intellectual feeding. So you should really forget all that and do Kirtan. So he introduced Kirtan in Bombay around that time when he was giving such profound talks. And this way he said that only those who were interested in his intellect, they also disappeared gradually. Intellectual, because this is something irrational. Intellect does not accept that this is old thing, for thousands of years we have been using Kirtan, etc. But Osho gave a new life to all this, and also not forget that you have a heart, you have a devotion, your heart wants to sing. जैसे कहते दिल जो प्यार करेगा वो गाना गाएगा. कुछ तो होता है ना कि भीतर से कुछ उमगता है तो आएगा ही ना बाहर. तो उसको उमगने की स्थिति खड़े करते थे ओशो. और उसमें भी एक बहुत बढ़िया घटना घटी. एक प्रवचन में, कितना समय है, खत्म तो टाइम
नहीं, no Swamiji, we are not time bound. No problem.
You know, me and Chaitanya Bharati, when we came to Bombay, and his discourses were happening in Shanmukhanand Hall or Patkar Hall. Around that time when he gave us this instruction that you go to Udaipur, go to this 15 days every city together, and he would give discourse and you ask him to start Kirtan now. So the day before that, we had come, and Ma Lakshmi, as usual, she said, भैया आपने अपने ठहरने की व्यवस्था कर ली है. Have you accommodation somewhere in the, because you know Woodland has only accommodates 5-10 people apartment. So we didn't have a place. We just came because we are workers and we would find some way to stay somewhere within the center, around the center. But she was worried that where two of us would stay. But we were not so worried. So we said, okay, first we listen to discourse, then we would take care. We put our luggage in the office here, and after the discourse, we would come and take the luggage and stay somewhere. So then we are going to Patkar Hall or Shanmukhanand Hall together, two of us, and Osho's car goes by. In the car is his bodyguard, Bahadur, that time the name of the Nepali guard with something to protect Osho if it is needed. And Lakshmi is driving the car too. And then he tells Bahadur something about us, that these two people are coming. You wait outside the gate of the Patkar Hall. When they come, receive them and bring them in. This we came to know later, because when he's telling, then we don't know, we are not around. So soon they would be reaching to the hall. So when we arrive in the Pravachan hall, and Swami Chaitanya Bharti says, I need to go to use the restroom, so you carry on, you go in. And suddenly when I come to the door, this guy is standing there, Bahadur. He says, "Oh, आप ही हैं चैतन्य कीर्ति और चैतन्य भारती." ओशो कह रहे थे कि बहुत काम करते हैं, इनको दरवाजे पर खड़े हो जाना और उनको अंदर लाना, स्टेज पे मेरे पीछे बिठा देना. Otherwise you go and sit in front when the audience. He says, no, tell them to come and sit in the. बहुत काम करते हैं, ऐसा कुछ तारीफ में बोल दिए ओशो. So Osho said something about praising us. So then, but Chaitanya Bharati did not get to know this. Only I knew it because he went to the restroom. So when he comes, I said, come, Osho may already have started discourse. So we have to rush in because he's already on the podium stage. So we just, without telling him anything, I just take him quickly in. Chaitanya Bharati and me, we go and sit behind him, behind Osho. But Chaitanya Bharati was angry in a way because he felt that he has not been welcomed, and welcomed in a sense that he was asked that find your own accommodation somewhere. When you work, you have expectation also. So there was some kind of resentment. So he kept sitting and discourse continued. But I was very elated because Osho's message, receiving that message. So then the discourse is over and Kirtan starts. And you could see that same resentment, anger while he's doing Kirtan also. Because, cathartic kind of expression when your energy is disturbed. And I was feeling amused because I know things have changed. So then after everybody's gone, we also come out of the hall and I tell him, Bahadur came and told me that Osho was saying in the car that go and receive them and bring them to the behind him, sit there on the stage, and there would be Kirtan, etc. But that moment I was in a hurry to bring you in, so I could not tell you all that. So then he started dancing so beautifully. Suddenly he became very happy. Osho said that, "Oh, Kirti, तुम्हें खाना खिलाते हैं, कहीं अच्छी रेस्टोरेंट में जाते हैं, खाना खाएंगे." So he became very happy listening all that. So we go to good restaurant, have meal, dinner, and then we loitering, coming slowly, and we would pick up the stuff and go to wherever we want to stay. And when we arrive, Ma Lakshmi is still sitting there. She used to go home to sleep in her own house because there was no space in that flat. But she was sitting there. भैया कहाँ थे आप? तुम्हारे लिए खाना रखा है, तुम्हारे लिए बिस्तर लगा है यहाँ पर. In Woodland itself. The whole thing changed because Osho said, so she got two mattresses in the library where Osho's books are there, that hall is there. So, भैया तुम्हारे लिए भोजन भी रखा है और तुम कितनी देर लगा के आ रहे हैं? हमने कहा हमने खाना खा लिया है. We have eaten the food now, but since you are offering this place to stay, we will stay. And in the morning, she told us that 8 o'clock he would like to see you. You come when you wake up. After 8 o'clock, you have darshan in the morning. So that way he was very caring also, not just, in administration. The receptionist, the secretary, and the managers have their own problem. A space problem, this and that. But Osho somehow, when he wants something, he just conveyed it to even the bodyguard, not to Lakshmi, that receive them well and bring them in like that. And the whole thing changed. So the point you were asking about music, so that music did play, it did evolve, and it has been a kind of inseparable from meditation. You cannot separate now. It becomes a kind of jumping board. And like when you started playing, I felt, why I have to talk? I just now just go in silence. It creates a meditative space.
And Swamiji, when Western sannyasins started to come to Osho in mid 70s or whenever, and there were lots of musicians also, and the Indian and Western music started to meet also, like East and West was every sense of the term. It was meeting of East and West in many ways, in food, in arts, in way of life, and everything. So I think, and I'm very sure about it, that the first fusion world music started happening at that time with Osho. The experiment, that real experiment of fusion, I mean, there were other things also might have happened, but the real fusion world music started to happen very naturally, because if like Western musicians and Indian musicians both are there, then they have to find a common place to work the music around, because otherwise Indian music in this direction, West is in this direction. I mean, how they have to somehow meet together and produce something unique, which was never heard before to the world. So later on, when I was in Osho commune and I was like attending white robes later and all that, and the guests also would be coming there, musicians who would do concerts, and they would be amazed to see our white robe music. I knew, because we were playing very differently. We were effortlessly merging Indian and Western without doing, I mean, without any, I mean, consciously we were not thinking and doing it. It was just happening very naturally, and this was a unique gift from the world of Osho to the world of music. And because all like so-called enlightened masters are also taking Osho's words, and then they'd say it in their own ways. Similarly, all the musicians of the world now do whatever happened in experimentally, naturally in Osho's world from 70s to maybe 2000 and so on. So that was a key factor. Again, a key word is happening here. So that brought a huge revolution. It filtered into Bollywood music also. It filtered into different sections of world music all over the world. And so many amazing musicians came, learned, contributed, went back, and they keep on doing whatever they learned musically from this place, and they followed it.
I remember when Jesus' house, there was one room, music room on top, near here. And Deuter, when he was composing something, there would be red light that if you are passing by, that you should not talk, because he may be recording something. The red light flashing in his outside his room on the top. And he was like multi-instrumentalist. He would play this instrument, that is, though there was sitarists like Govindas and some other around that time. They were only in that, but he was like, he could assemble everything together. And later on, like Joshua was a multi-instrumentalist also. But Deuter, who kind of, you can say, mother or father of the all meditation music, that in those days, dynamic, Kundalini, Nataraj, Nadabram, and like he became a pioneer in that way for meditation music. And even today, like if you Reiki, hands of light, and Nad Himalaya.
Yes.
So that time,
he's a pioneer. He showed, I mean, somehow Osho was in connection with him, and he was making music of Kundalini dynamic according to his
Full
instructions
guidance
or
was
guidance.
available to him.
Full guidance. Yes, yes, yes. And in those days, there was no like proper studio settings or like
Yeah,
great
yeah,
recording facilities. And but still,
yes,
he could work magic in. I mean, like in movies also at that time when there was, I mean, amazing movies were made in the 70s, 60s when music filming and all that was very very basic. Even then they could make classics. Same with Duta was doing. Even the basic primitive musical settings he created an out of the world music which has been benefited to seekers all around the world in millions of ways. When people, anybody who does dynamic today, even today, who does
yes,
kundalini even today, Deuter is
yeah.
playing music for them every time music is being played.
And
And
his name is Chaitanya Hari, Swami Chaitanya Hari Deuter.
Chaitanya, yes, so
Yes.
many Chaitanyas, Chaitanya Bharti, Chaitanya Keerti, Chaitanya Hari. So they are key people, Swamiji, they are key people. I know they are key people. Chaitanya people are
That's
key
why I
people.
have named my book Mindfulness the Master Key.
What
That
was,
the
sorry,
book
I
that
couldn't.
I published a few years ago, Mindfulness the Master Key.
Yeah. Yes,
Yes.
very true, very true. Great, Swamiji. It was really, really heartening to connect with you. You and I want like you, Manilam and Swami Tathagat. You are key people, a key again in my life also personally. Like who I would look up to, who I would say, wow, these people are real, real. Like they carry transformation around them in their own way. And talking about Swami Tathagat, I dedicate this episode to his memory, to his work, his contribution to Swami Tathagat, who I had also like been
Yes.
lucky enough to know him and work with him in his last days in ashram. So so all these key people, all of you like Dham Jyotima also, and so many others, like you are like carriers of heart energy, carriers of heart messages. Let's say the heart is with you all the time. You move around with open heart. And with this, I come to the last question that it was always on my mind. That now let's come. Now we come to now, and what Osho's work is happening now. Now it means like you take Osho camps, you connect with young people, like youngsters who come to meditate, who might have known about Osho in their own way. When they come to your meditation camps, young people who might not know much about Osho, how do you see them taking Osho's message? How do you see them um, transforming their lives, or at least positively affected by Osho's meditations and words? How do you see young people taking all this?
I would give you an example. This 21st of March, I was at Osho Dham,
Yes.
and this was my first camp after COVID-19, which for 1 year, no camps. The
Yes.
21st of March, from 18 to 21st March was the first camp.
Yes.
And I could see 75% people new and youthful, full of
Beautiful.
youth and young in age, and also, and like I say that, somewhere people have this thing that you have to play Bollywood music to attract them, or you
Right.
have to like have some entertainment and this and that. They were
No.
not into that. They really did all the meditations, and their questions were also deep in
Hmm.
sharing sessions.
Hmm.
So now it's a, maybe some other people have a different experience, but me, like I have been doing online meditations also,
Hmm.
and I have seen in online meditation there have been like 300, 400, 500 also the package
Wow,
that,
this is
yeah.
tremendous.
Yeah, in regular camps, there were only like 50 people or 100 people or something. But in online sessions, I had, Swami Paritosh from Atlanta was organizing, Swami Prem Vivek from New Jersey was organizing, and some
Amazing.
San Diego friend was often. But for a month or so, I have not done anything. But before that, it was like I could see that they had to buy bigger package of 500 because there were more people. Also
Wow.
in Lucknow, Amano Manish, whenever he's doing, there are 300-400 people also, and various facilitators together. It's not something to boast about, but it's like that. Uh, this is that if we are sincere in sharing, and if we drop these pretensions of being guru and being just one of them,
Beautiful.
yeah, people tend to sometimes become, take a sit on high pedestal and and create a aura of gurudom around them, which I don't like. Which I just one has to simply be. I'm equally unconscious person as they are. But in the meditation camps, there is energy, there is a blessing from Osho that we all are transported to some other space,
Definitely.
which is like a mystery.
Definitely.
We don't know how it happens. It does happen, and they feel touched. And the sannyas initiation continues the same way. Like out of 150 people, there are 15 people who are taking sannyas also. They keep waiting. And even they were asking when online things were happening, this kind of thing. But if we remain sincere in our sharing, then it is ripe atmosphere now. People would really take it in and really be transformed. All that we need to remember is that we have to be authentic.
True.
In our sharing, not hypocritical, because that also is easily seen.
That's
And
very true.
not to go into too much commercialism also with them.
Very true. Very true.
It's our joy of sharing, and it's not making business out of it.
Yes, yes, yes. Very true.
And that is also always coming if one trusts. Your needs are taken care by existence itself if you just have some trust. But if we think on the line of commercial that I have to exploit that, I have to sell this to them, then it won't work. This is the eternal law. You don't benefit by, becoming too mundane, too commercial, too, using people or exploiting them. Be sincere. If a facilitator is sincere, things will be happening. Because you allow master's energy to flow through you, you don't become a hindrance by taking a position that you are something. I'm not something. Nobody is something. We are just in those hours we are functioning as vehicles, as जैसे कुली सामान उठा के ले जाता है तुम्हारा, ऐसे हम किताबें उठा के ले जाते थे, ओशो को पहुंचा देते थे, बाकी काम ओशो खुद ही करते हैं. So it's like, yeah, you just let it happen.
Exactly.
Just slide into it. Yes.
Slide into.
I remember Osho wrote one poem, and he used this word, gently sliding or gliding into silence. And this word remained with me.
Wow, this is great, Swamiji. I will take it from you.
Yes, maybe in 1970s, somewhere his handwriting, I read this gliding and sliding.
This is very true what you said, that because, I mean, when we were doing, like, I don't know how many hundreds of eye drops we did, but every time, I mean, there may be so many discussions and rehearsals and blah 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 and so many things happening. But when we come to play white robes, showered in white robes, the atmosphere is so otherworldly, and the music somehow flows, and our minds are typically like taken away, and we all become a beautiful vehicle, a medium for that thing. Whether we are like great meditators or not so great meditators doesn't really matter, but at that point Osho's energy makes everything a medium, everybody a medium. There is no eligibility of any sorts, just openness, and you are what you are doing, and you are simply playing in the hands of God or hands of master. And this is how it should be, and this is how the music needs to be played, especially in those situations. Otherwise it won't work.
Yeah.
Otherwise
ओशो खुद कहते हैं कि मैं तो ये शब्द मेरे नहीं हैं,
right,
ये तो परमात्मा ही प्रवाहित हो रहा है. I just don't come in between. And if we are representing the master, then we need not come in between also. It's
so
like
very
let
true,
him flow through it.
so
Yeah.
very true, so very true. When the master himself is a medium, then
Yeah.
how can not, I mean, the disciples, they are like
Yeah.
simply trying to be a medium. I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
their ego do come in, but that's also part of the process. No problem. It will come and go
Yes.
and come and go and come. This is how life is. This is how we learn.
Yeah.
This is how we share. This is how we mature. And this is part of
Yeah.
the process. So no problem. Great, Swamiji. It's been amazing, amazing journey with you in this episode. I'm so much like blessed. I feel Osho. I feel you. I feel, and whenever I see even a picture of those times, also, I mean, I don't want to too much emphasize all that, but there is instant connection and an instant recognition of what was happening. Even maybe people might not be at that time there, because Osho energy is so evident, because master's energy is so evident anyway. Wherever you are, wherever we are, whatever we are doing, we are driving a car, we are taking a rickshaw, we are doing this and that. If we are open and we are always guided, we are always taken care of, and something bigger is always with us. We all know this so well. And Swamiji, thank you so much. I really, really value this conversation so much. And just before leaving, I'll just little bit again slide you to to motel. A gentle slide, not a wide slide. Okay, I agree.
Yes.
Swamiji.
I glide with you.
And there was another phrase, maybe Osho used it, the glad, there was a
Glide.
gladdening glides or something, glides of, I don't know, I remember this phrase. Maybe it's a part of a book or a darshan diary phrase or something was there. Because
I will find it and send it to you.
yes, please. Gladness,
Yes.
gladdening, something was there, Swami. You
Yeah.
will find it.
Gladness glides. Yeah.
Yeah, something like this. Something like
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
To all your viewers also. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. We'll stay in touch, Swamiji. God bless.
Yes.
We are together.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.